March 2026. I know you are wondering why that specific month. Why that particular time? What makes March 2026 different from any other month in any other year? And I need to tell you this story with complete honesty and complete faith, because both truth and trust in God matter equally in what I am about to share with you. Let me start by being clear about something. I do not know the future. No human does. No angel does. Only God knows what will happen and when it will happen, and how every thread of every destiny will weave together into the tapestry He has designed. But God gives us signs. He gives us patterns. He gives us glimpses of His plan, not to make us certain, but to make us hopeful. And the signs I have been seeing all point to March 2026 as a significant month for you and for the person whose life is meant to intertwine with yours. But before I tell you about the signs, let me tell you about the person. Because March 2026 means nothing if you do not understand who you are being prepared to meet. This person exists right now. Today. They are living their life unaware that in March 2026 everything will change. They are going through their own preparation, their own refining, their own journey toward becoming who they need to be to deserve you and to receive you well. Right now, at this very moment, they are working on themselves. Maybe they are focused on their career, building something stable so they can provide properly. Maybe they are healing from past wounds, seeking therapy or counseling, or spending long hours in prayer asking God to make them whole. Maybe they are strengthening their faith, reading the Quran with new dedication, praying with more consistency, trying to become someone whose life honors God. Whatever their specific work is, they are doing it. And every day between now and March 2026 is shaping them into your perfect match. But they are also struggling. They feel the same loneliness you feel. They wonder if they will ever find someone who truly understands them. They question if real love still exists in this broken world. They pray the same prayers you pray, asking God to send them someone who will be a source of peace, not chaos. Someone who will help them grow closer to God, not pull them away. Someone who will be a partner in building a life that matters. And in their prayers your essence appears even if they do not know your name yet. Your face haunts their dreams even though you have never met, or maybe you have met but not connected yet. God is preparing both of your hearts for March 2026. Now let me tell you about the signs. Let me explain why everything points to that specific month. 3 months ago I was in prayer and I felt a strong impression. The number 3 kept appearing in my mind. I did not understand it at first, but as I prayed more, the understanding came. 3 is significant in your story. 3 months, 3 people, 3 decisions, and all of it culminates in transformation. March is the 3rd month. And 2026 is composed of digits that add to 10, which reduces to 1. New beginnings. Fresh starts. The end of waiting and the beginning of receiving. But numbers alone mean nothing. So let me tell you about the other signs. 2 weeks ago, I had a dream. And before you dismiss dreams as meaningless, let me remind you that God speaks through dreams. He spoke to prophets through dreams. He gave guidance to the righteous through dreams. And sometimes He gives His servants glimpses of what He is preparing. In this dream, I saw two people meeting. I could not see their faces clearly, but I knew one of them was someone who would read these words. The meeting was in spring. There were flowers blooming, new growth. The air had that quality of renewal that comes after winter. And when these two people met, there was recognition. Not like they had known each other before, but like their souls recognized each other. Like coming home after a long journey. And I woke up knowing that this dream was about March 2026. But let me tell you the most convincing sign. The one that made me certain enough to speak this month and year out loud. Last week, I met someone. An older sister in faith. A woman who has been married for 40 years to a man she still loves deeply. I asked her how they met, and she told me a story that gave me chills. She said 40 years ago in March she had given up on finding someone. She was older than her peers. Everyone else was married. She had started believing she would be alone forever. But in March of that year, a man approached her family. A man she had never considered. A man who seemed so unlikely that she almost said no without thinking. But something made her pray a stikara. And in that prayer, God gave her such clear peace that she said yes. They married that same spring. And 40 years later, she says March is her favorite month because it is the month God gave her the answer to prayers she had stopped believing would be answered. After she told me this story, I felt that strong impression again. March 2026. And I knew I was meant to share this. Not as a guarantee, because I cannot guarantee anything that only God controls. But as a message of hope, as an invitation to prepare, as a promise that God's timing is perfect even when it feels impossibly slow. So what do you do with this information? How do you live between now and March 2026? Because that is months away. That is time that needs to be filled with something other than just waiting. And here is what I need you to understand. March 2026 will only mean what it is meant to mean if you use the time between now and then wisely. You need to work on yourself. I know I keep saying this, but it bears repeating because it is so crucial. You cannot just sit around waiting for March 2026 to arrive and expect to be ready. God is preparing someone for you. He is refining them, teaching them, growing them, and He is doing the exact same work for you. So cooperate with that work. Examine your character. Where are you impatient? Work on patience. Where are you judgmental? Work on mercy. Where are you selfish? Work on generosity. Where are you distant from God? Work on closeness. Every day between now and March 2026 is an opportunity to become more of who you need to be. You need to strengthen your faith. Not fake religiosity to impress someone. Real faith. The kind that sustains you when life gets hard. The kind that makes you trust God even when you cannot see the path. The kind that keeps you grateful in both ease and difficulty. Pray your 5 daily prayers if you are not already. Read the Quran regularly. Learn about your religion. Build a relationship with God that is so strong that when March 2026 comes and this person enters your life, you will have the spiritual foundation to build a God-centered marriage with them. You need to heal from your past. If you are carrying wounds from previous relationships, now is the time to address them. If you have trust issues, work on them. If you have bitterness, let it go. If you have unforgiveness, choose to forgive. Not for the people who hurt you, but for yourself. Because you deserve to enter this new season, healed, not broken. This person deserves to receive you whole, not wounded. And the months between now and March 2026 are enough time to do significant healing work if you commit to it. You need to build your life, work on your career, develop your skills, pursue your education if that is your path, build financial stability. Create a life that is already full and rich so that when this person comes, they are adding to your fullness, not filling your emptiness. Because marriage is not about completion. It is about two complete people choosing to walk together. So become complete. Become whole. Become someone who is already living a meaningful life and ready to share that life with someone equally whole. You need to be patient but also active. Patience does not mean passivity. It does not mean sitting around doing nothing while waiting for March 2026. It means trusting God's timing while also taking the actions He has already given you guidance to take. If you know you need to work on something, work on it. If you know you need to make a change, make it. If you know you need to pursue a goal, pursue it. March 2026 will come regardless of what you do. But the version of you that exists in March 2026 will be determined by the choices you make between now and then. You need to stay open to God's redirection. Because here is the thing about dates and times and predictions. They are always subject to God's ultimate will. I feel strongly that March 2026 is significant. The signs point there. The dreams suggest it. Spiritual intuition confirms it. But God is not bound by my intuition or my interpretation of signs. If He has something better planned for a different time, I trust His wisdom more than my feelings. And you should too. So hold March 2026 loosely. Hope for it. Prepare for it. But do not become so fixated on it that you miss what God is doing in the present or become closed to His alternate plans. You need to involve the right people in your preparation. Talk to your family about your desire to get married. Not in a desperate way, but in a mature way. Let them know you are ready, that you are open to proposals, that you are preparing yourself to be a good spouse. Ask them to pray for you. Ask them to keep their eyes open for good matches. Ask them to help you when the time comes to evaluate whoever approaches. Because when March 2026 comes and this person enters your life properly, you will need your family's wisdom and support to make good decisions. You need to make dua specifically. Between now and March 2026, pray about this. Ask God to make it clear if this timeline is from Him. Ask Him to prepare both you and this person. Ask Him to make the path easy if this is good for you, and to block it if it is not. Ask Him to give you patience for the waiting and wisdom for the choosing. Ask Him to protect you from settling for less than His best for you just because you are tired of waiting. Pray in the depths of night when dua are answered. Pray in prostration when you are closest to God. Pray with conviction that He hears and He responds in perfect timing. And you need to watch for the signs as March 2026 approaches. As you get closer to that month, pay attention. Notice who enters your life. Notice what doors open. Notice what opportunities present themselves. Notice how you feel when certain names are mentioned or certain people approach. Notice the peace or lack of peace in your astikara. God will make it clear. He will guide you. But you have to be paying attention. Let me tell you what might happen in March 2026. It might not be dramatic. It might not be like the movies. It might be as simple as a family friend mentioning someone to your parents, or a colleague suggesting a connection, or meeting someone at a community event and feeling that recognition, or receiving a proposal from someone you never expected, or having a conversation that suddenly shifts from casual to significant. However it happens, you will know. You will feel that this is different. This matters. This is what you have been waiting for. Or it might not happen in March 2026 at all. It might happen in April 2026 because God's timing is perfect down to the day, not just the month. Or it might happen in December 2025 because God decided you were ready sooner than expected. Or it might happen in June 2026 because there was one more thing you both needed to learn first. The specific month matters less than the certainty that it is coming. That God has someone for you. That your waiting has an end date known to Him. That you are being prepared for something beautiful. So receive this message as hope, not as guarantee. Receive it as motivation, not as certainty. Receive it as an invitation to prepare, not as permission to be passive. March 2026 is coming whether it means what I think it means or not. Use the time wisely. Become who you need to become. Build the life you want to share. Strengthen the faith you want to base your marriage on. And trust that God, who knows all things and plans all things perfectly, will bring you and the person He created for you together at exactly the right moment in exactly the right way.